So is the glass halfway full or halfway empty? There's always two ways of looking at a thing. There's the good side of it, and there's the bad side of it. You always have a choice on what way to look at something. A growth mindset is the belief your abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed over time through effort, learning, and persistence. Now, what this idea means is that with every failure, with every success, there's always opportunity. This can apply to a lot of things. I've seen a couple situations in my current life where, you know, working a job, somebody's promised a position, the time comes around and they're not given it. What is the person to do in that situation on the receiving end? There's always two ways to look at something. Okay, you could, get angry, get upset, or you could see it as a learning experience. Maybe that company isn't right for you. Maybe it's time to move on. This applies to a lot of things. Every time we are practicing our skills and do something that is less than optimal, we're learning from it. But what it really comes down to is how you're looking at it within your own mind as you're learning. All effort is going to lead to some improvement. That's the idea of the growth mindset. Challenges are going to be opportunities for you. You see difficulties as a chance to grow. Failure is one of the biggest lessons that you can have. Success, of course, there are some lessons, but you learn even more from your failures. Always, encouraging a good feedback from those around you and seeing how you can improve, wanting to have some humility in what you do plays a big role. Seeing the success of others, motivates you to work even harder. Back to those situations where you have a choice. There are so many points in the day that we can get upset about something, as simple as the exit being shut down on your way to work, You have to take a different route, it could be something that may upset you or it could be something exciting. You're seeing a new part of the area you might not have seen before. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you see something you might want to try in that area the next time you're there. The idea is trying to apply this mindset to everyday life and then carrying it into your work life, career, love life, relationships. It has a compounding effect, something like this, when you start with seeing everything as a new opportunity. Something in your day as simple as the coffee maker doesn't work this morning, You might need to figure out a different way to get your coffee, whether that's making it within your kitchen, different method, or going out and trying a new spot. The whole idea of life is just to experience everything and new things constantly. I mean, it's ever changing. The world is going through the seasons, and you are too. Now, the effects of using this mindset with learning is almost like double points, okay? You already have the humility to say, alright, I know I'm gonna most likely suck at whatever I'm trying for the first few times, but I'm gonna give myself that leeway that I can just, sort of play around with, give it some time, see where I go with that. This is something you work on every day. Changing your mindset isn't the easiest thing in the world, but just with a little bit of effort every day to stop yourself, assess your train of thoughts, has the most, profound effect on your mental health. Just take a deep breath, assess the situation, and give it your best shot. Try not to freak out, because the world will give you so many reasons to freak out, and it's all about how you see these situations and how you process them that really play a big role in how you navigate life. So I have a story where this growth mindset played a big role in my own experience. So about a year ago, I had gotten to a bad accident getting onto the highway. I had hydroplaned and spun out, and I actually flipped my truck. Now, I was in no position to be out of a vehicle. I had to get to work. So this was very daunting for me. But there's the flip side of the coin where I'm fortunate enough to live close enough to my work to maybe catch a ride from one of my coworkers or even a family member. This provided me the opportunity to bring my truck back to life, work on my truck, learn how to work on vehicles just to begin with. I mean, just through this experience alone, my knowledge about vehicles has probably like 1,000 times just because you know, you don't really know about stuff until you break it, and you're so cheap that you say, all right, I'm going to do it myself because I got to figure it out. That's just the way things are. There's two ways of looking at it. Okay, I could have been destroyed. I could have been very unmotivated to do anything to it. I could have sold it. I could have been out of a vehicle for, that many more months. Had to buy a new one, been in an even worse position if I had to buy another vehicle. So I'm very blessed that I had this opportunity. The point I'm trying to get at is that the growth mindset helped me to navigate this situation and not absolutely freak out, because something like this that is so unexpected and gets thrown in your face, um, there's no guide on how to handle it. There's no how to. It's just you and your thoughts, you and your mindset. So that's why I'm making this video. I feel like it's something we need to encourage more of, is a growth mindset. Don't discourage someone learning next time you see them struggling. If you're a younger guy and you have the opportunity to teach someone older than you something, it's one of the greatest experiences because they have the humility to approach you. The ball is in your court. You see it all the time that people will razz for something like this, but I think we should always encourage our fellow brother and sister to learn and progress within their own knowledge and skill book. So the next time you're learning a new skill or just something new in general, give yourself a little bit of leeway, man. Allow yourself to fail, see the effect it has on how much quicker you can learn skills, because you're not discouraged, you know? You're you're not humiliated like how you would if you were before. You see it as the opportunity now. That's one step closer to my goal. One step closer to my goal. That's why they say the failures are the most learning experiences. I mean, I hate to say it, but I've learned so much through that tragic accident. Just about cars, about finances, because I really wanted to never be in the position I was again, where I could not afford something that was a necessity for me in that particular time. The effect it had on me spiritually was a topic for another video, but also a great movement in my soul was from that tragedy. I had to come to terms with a lot of things, to say the least. But through all of that stress and learning, I can now say that I am grateful for the experience. And these are the things that shape you. We don't really think about it in our day to day, but what are you doing with the voice in your head is the question. So now that I've shared a bit of a story, I'd like to ask you guys if you have any stories that are just life experiences that you have had to use a growth mindset to navigate life and grow, obviously. That's what it's all about, and that's what we want to encourage. Everyone has a fighter within them, and it's all about how you feed that fire. What is around you? What are you consuming? All of these things matter. We don't think about it, but what we consume is what we are, from our food, from our media, our music. It's all a conscious frequency that's being inputted, outputted through your actions. I'd just like to touch again on encouraging yourself to just try new things, try a new skill. Don't automatically assume that you suck at it. Everyone sucks at something when they start, okay? A great example of this is instruments. I play guitar myself, and I will tell you that the first week, the first month, the first year is absolutely brutal. These things take time, and don't be afraid to suck. Don't be afraid to be great. Don't be afraid to suck. You got it within you. We all do. Encourage that growth mindset and you will succeed. You and I both are on this journey through life. Let's grow. Let's learn. Let's have a great time. Thank you.